The Bourbon Hutch has challenged me to an impossible challenge. He has given me the challenge of picking only one bourbon that I can drink for the rest of my life. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies. So the Bourbon Hutch, if you're not a fan of his channel, I will link his channel in the description. He does some pretty good videos over there. I'm a fan of his. It's been really cool to watch his bourbon journey because he kind of started his channel right when his bourbon journey was beginning. So you basically get to see it all. You're basically seeing him start from scratch, which is really fun. Anyway, he challenged me to the challenge of you can only have one bottle of bourbon for the rest of your life. And before we get into that, I would like to ask you guys to please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because I do stuff like this all the time. I'm big on the list videos, and I'm also big on blind flights. I do a lot of blind flights. I am YouTube's undisputed king of blind flights. Not really, but I do more than anyone else. Anyway, he had 5 bottles on his table, and they were ranged from available to available-ish. I decided to divide mine into 2 categories, pretty much available and a little harder to find. But initially, I thought it was best whiskey, or sorry, you can only have one whiskey for the rest of your life. So I thought I would actually give you the 3 ryes that I was considering for this category. For available-ish, I was going with Seagrass and New Riff 6-year malted rye and Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye. Those 3 would be my ryes for this category that I would have to fight over. So Barrel Seagrass, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye, and New Riff 6-year malted rye. But we're only talking bourbons today. I can only have one bourbon for the rest of my life. I can buy rye to my heart's content. I can buy single malts to my heart's content. I'd probably just mostly buy rye. But, I do like some single malts. But anyway, for my available, for the most part, category, I have Maker's Mark private selections. These are kind of everywhere. You don't have to hunt very hard to find one of these. And if you get a good one like this Nana's Kitchen Amigos pick, I may have helped pick this one, but anyway, it is amazing. And if you get a good Maker's Mark pick, they are fantastic. Next up, this was actually on Bourbon Hutch's list as well. That is the Bardstown Origin Series, the Bottled and Bond Wheated, and it is straight up excellent. I love that bottle. It is so good. Not available in Arizona. That's why I say available-ish. But and then Still Austin cask strength. Once again, available-ish. It's not available everywhere. But you're in a state where you can get Still Austin, you can find that. You're in a state where you can get Bardstown, you can find that. You do just a tiny, tiny bit of searching, you will find a Maker's Mark private selection. Now, these 3 over here can be a little bit harder to come by. I have an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I picked these because these are always excellent, and they're a lot easier to come by than things like Booker's or Stag or, those other legacy barrel proof options. They are about $90, and you're getting at least 10-year-old product that is barrel proof and excellent. You get a weak Elijah Craig barrel proof, it's still really good. Next up, we have Russell's private selection. These are about 10 years old at 110 proof, and they are not everywhere. You got to do a little hunting for them. But they are not unobtainable. They're pretty easy to come by, and they're about $85. And then Calumet 16. I gotta have something with a little bit of oak on it. These are $150 for 16-year-old Kentucky. It's at 106 proof, and they are straight up excellent. I definitely, I understand that you could buy probably almost all 3 of these bottles for what you can buy one of these for, but it's excellent. It's really good. So I'm that college player, and now I'm about to choose my team for the next 1 year before I join the NBA, because I'm a 1-year player. That's all they're getting out of me. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'd probably be there for 4 years and then go on as a walk-on. and then go on to, work at my father's mattress factory That's the way I would see it if I was a basketball player. Anyway, so which one of these bourbons would be my pick? I can only have one of them for the rest of my life. I think I'm gonna go with... If I gotta pick an available-ish bottle that I can know is going to be straight up excellent and give me some nice punch of oak flavor, bourbons over 15 years old that are on shelves are very hard to come by. The Calumet 16 is not that difficult to get. That's my pick. I like the oak. I think my second place choice would probably be the Still Austin because it's like under 50 bucks, and that's 2 year. So yeah, those are that's my number one. That's my number two, and you can't go wrong with any of these though. If you let's say you're new to bourbon hunting, I think these are staples that you should have on your shelf, especially if you haven't tried them before. If you haven't tried these 6 before, you kind of need to get on them. Anyway, drinking buddies, I really appreciate all of you guys watching, but before we move on, I have to challenge 3 channels to do this video. And whenever there's a challenge, I always have to ask my buddy Steven at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Why? Because he's my favorite whiskey tuber. Well, besides Kurt at SLB Drinks, who I will also be challenging to this. Those 2 guys are my favorites, and Bourbon Bill, who's definitely another one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. But yeah, those 3. So I need to see your lists. Steven at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, Kurt and Trent at SLB Drinks, and Bill at Bourbon Bill. I need to see your lists. We need to figure out what your one whiskey for the one bourbon for the rest of your life would be. Cheers, buddies. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like before you go. Thank you.
I'm your drinking buddy.